Calgary East.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In Canada, majority governments are often elected with less than a majority of votes, including this one we have here. The last elections in Ontario and Quebec are good examples, with majority governments getting elected despite having less than 40% of the popular vote. Many provinces across Canada have begun to look at changing their elections to a proportional representation model. This is something many Albertans are interested in, and many of my constituents are interested in, given that it would ensure that every vote counts. To the Minister of Democratic Renewal, has your ministry begun any work on looking into models of proportional representation or into consulting Albertans on this important matter?
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm very proud of the work that we've done to strengthen and improve democracy here in Alberta, banning corporate donations, brought in new spending limits, making PACs more accountable, and thanks to our government, voting will be easier and more accessible than ever. We will continue to work to make sure that ideas and not bank accounts decide our elections.
First supplemental.
I'm going to take that as no, Mr. Speaker. Given that proportional representation has many benefits, including increased voter turnout, increasing diversity in elected officials, electing legislatures with more parties, more diverse voices, and given that 80% of OECD countries use some form of proportional representation, and given that proportional representation was on the NDP platform in 2012, why is Alberta lagging behind the world and the rest of Canada in improving our democracy?
Because they won for a change.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I've had very constructive conversations with
Given the speech earlier, I'm going to move past making any comments. Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I've had very constructive conversations about proportional representation with people like the member from our Liberal caucus, and we continue to have conversations about these topics. But I have to say, Mr. Speaker, when I'm out on the doors, people are concerned about the price differential. People are concerned about pipelines. People are concerned about jobs, putting food on their family's table, healthcare, education. I have yet to knock on a door and have someone tell me about mixed member proportional representation.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
I just had a town hall where at least half of the people who attended asked me to ask about this. Given that my constituents are concerned about the state of democracy, and given that they feel their elected representatives are more concerned about loyalty to their party than to their constituents, does the Minister for Democratic Renewal believe that whipping all votes and scripting all the committees is good government policy?
The Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, you know, it's very interesting to listen to that honourable member and ask a question like that. Clearly, she doesn't do well under the team play situation that we deal with in this House, but that's the nature of this Assembly, Mr. Speaker. The Assembly is designed for teamwork to create teams that can form a government, Mr. Speaker, and that's what it's about. It's not about individual members following their pet projects.